It's Saturday, July 26, 2014, and I'm Jim Sullivan with your NeoWeather.com video forecast. It's been a nice morning so far here across most of Ohio. It's been partly to mostly sunny, temperatures rising into the mid to upper 70s as of 11. There have been some decent storms to our southwest, however, those have fizzled. We should be dry as we head well into the afternoon, although storm chances will arrive by this evening. Taking a look across the entire country now, there isn't a ton going on at this second, although that will change later today. There's a pretty good dome of warm and very humid weather across the south, and a very large low pressure system here just north of the Dakotas spinning around. There are two disturbances to the southeast of that low pressure, one stretching from Iowa and Missouri into parts of Indiana. That'll move in here late this afternoon, and then another one focusing a decent cluster of storms right now over the Dakotas and Minnesota. That'll come in right behind the first disturbance, in the middle of the night tonight, and then there's that big curly Q that'll be our big weather maker over the next few days. So coming back to Cleveland, your forecast for the rest of today, we're going to stay partly cloudy into the afternoon, and then by the time we hit late afternoon, a few storms may develop, especially in our western counties, and then those storms could move east across the area this evening with some severe threat. Highs in the low to perhaps mid-80s today. Tonight it'll be much more humid, lows only getting into the upper 60s to near 70. Alright, so taking a look ahead at how this may play out today, you can see we're going to stay dry for the next few hours, and you can see the warm front moving north. You can see the south to southwesterly winds over most of our coverage area, and the more northerly winds here in our northern counties along that frontal boundary. So we're going to stay dry into the afternoon, and then as we head towards the later afternoon and into the evening, that disturbance coming in from the west could spark some scattered storms across northwestern Ohio that track into our coverage area in the evening. Best threat probably 5 p.m. to about 11 or 12 this evening. You can see we may see a little cluster of storms form, and with the warm front nearby, there will be a lot of turning of the winds, which may mean there could be a threat for supercells with some large hail, perhaps even an isolated tornado this evening. Not a huge risk, but it's out there. Then as we head deeper into tonight, we're likely going to gradually dry out after midnight. However, more clusters of storms could affect southwestern Ohio overnight tonight with a damaging wind threat. So in the grand scheme of things, we're going to call it a low risk for severe weather for most of Ohio today. Again, the model I showed you happened to blow up storms with the disturbance this evening, and most of them do, but there is some doubt as to how widespread things will be. So overall, it's just a low risk. Better risk well to our southwest where those clusters of storms may develop tonight, but that's going to miss northern Ohio, it looks like by a wide margin. Just those few evening storms is what we're looking at. All right, so picking things back up in the middle of the night tonight, again, showers, storms clearing. That leaves us with a dry late night and early Sunday morning. Again, complexes of strong to severe storms could affect southern Ohio tonight, especially southwestern Ohio, and some rain could graze our southwesternmost counties, Mansfield to Dover, with that late tonight. However, the severe threat after about 11, 12 o'clock tonight will be nil for northern Ohio, it looks like. Now, as we head into the day tomorrow, you can see this shift in the winds from southwesterly to westerly or northwesterly. That's a cold front that's going to come charging in. The model keeps us dry through tomorrow morning and into tomorrow afternoon. Most of them do, so that means we're probably going to see enough sun to get things really unstable tomorrow, and the winds aloft are going to be pretty strong. So as that cold front approaches, that means scattered strong to severe storms will likely develop again over Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, into parts of West Virginia, Kentucky, Pennsylvania tomorrow afternoon and evening. And you can see the winds here will be pretty chaotic. The winds at the surface here are going to be southerly to southwesterly. Winds aloft are going to be westerly to west-northwesterly, so there's going to be a good amount of turning with the winds. They're going to be pretty strong in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and it's going to be very unstable. This all means that we could see supercell thunderstorms again tomorrow, with the risk for large hail, damaging winds, and perhaps some tornadoes. And you can see at 8 o'clock tomorrow evening, the model is bringing the front through with scattered showers and potentially strong to severe storms. So with that said, here is our severe forecast For tomorrow, Sunday, mainly during the afternoon and evening, a low risk at least for all of Ohio, and we have a medium risk for our southeastern counties. That medium risk may come north a little bit, although right now it looks like the best wind shear, the best instability will be in our southeastern counties, where there could be a couple of tornadoes, could be some decent hail and locally damaging winds. There will definitely be an enhanced tornado risk across portions of the tri-state into West Virginia, and that area we may actually bump up to high on our severe risk graphic at some point between now and tomorrow morning. This is a very unusual type of event for the middle of summer. All right, so on our big picture forecast charts, you can see the dynamic weather setup here over the next couple of days. Very warm, humid air trying to move into the region, but then this big system dives in from Canada. That's very unusual for this time of year to get a system of this caliber diving southeast. That dives southeast, so those two air masses collide. We get some storms over the weekend, and then we really cool off to start the work week. And for better or for worse, once we cool off Sunday night into Monday, we're probably going to stay fairly chilly through the work week. You can see this large trough does not really want to move through Wednesday or Thursday. We will gradually start warming up after Tuesday, but no real heat waves by any stretch of the imagination here in the eastern U.S. through at least the next week to even 2 weeks. So 7-day forecast time now. We really cool off to start the work week after some scattered storms this weekend. Monday, lake-enhanced rain showers just about anywhere with a northerly wind. Highs probably not getting up to 70 for most of us. And then we gradually start warming up through the rest of the week, and a couple of weak disturbances will rotate around that trough that's going to persist over the eastern U.S., so that will bring small rain chances from time to time Tuesday through Friday. Again, there will be a lot of dry weather sprinkled in there, but I do think we'll see some rain at some point Tuesday through Friday. All right, I'm Jim Sullivan. Thanks for watching. Check us out again tomorrow.